Hey everybody, Nick here, and today doing a little disassembly and maintenance on this guy right here. This is the Bestech Knives Titan. We're going to have to untighten the pivot here first, as well as these two screws here, and then we'll be able to take this guy apart and clean it up. Right now, the centering is very slightly favoring, actually, it's favoring the show side, so it may be that the pivot's a little loose. Need to loosen that up. Right now, there is no blade play, though, so I'm going ahead and take that apart. Looks like I do not need to remove the clip because those screws do not go all the way through. Go ahead and do this. Okay, T8 for the pivot. Beautiful. Take that out, put that there. Looks like T6 for the back screws here. By the way, if you're curious about any of the tools I'm using for today's disassembly, go ahead and check out nickshabazz.com/tools. And you will see everything you need to know and more. And that's nice and easy. All right, let's take this guy apart. Okay, come on now. There we go. Popped apart, nice and easy. Oh, that's nice. What I'm saying, oh, that's nice about is that we actually do have a stainless insert here that is containing both the stop pin as well as a bearing race. Which isn't a huge deal, right? It's not crucial, but it sure isn't a bad thing, right? I do like seeing that, so that's good. Aside from that, knife looks, it had some oil on it, although that had gunked up a little bit, so hopefully we'll be able to do a little better as a result. But, yeah, let's clean off your bearings here. Well, I've got them out. Well, I've got some rubbing alcohol on my cloth right here. Get in there, grab your bearing. Beautiful. All right, so those are clean. Now I'll wipe off this area here. The inside construction of this is pretty straightforward, right? We see some drilling out for balance, which is good, and we see that there is no liner except right over here on the, looks like the show side here. My little backspacer just went out, but that's fine. We do see there is a free spinning pivot prevention device, but it's only on the opposite side here. Only drilled off this little area. So I'll have to make sure that stays aligned, but considering that wants to stay in position, shouldn't be too hard. I'll put a little rubbing alcohol onto a Q-tip here and get up inside this area, as well as up inside this area here. Oh, there's a little bit of gunk there. Let me switch sides here. A little more booze on the old Q-tip, which is not a statement that really makes much sense outside of this context, but here we are. And then I'll go ahead and I'll try and clean off the inside right here, as well as right here, as well as right there. And we will take it from there. Okay, looks like we have a little bit of a burr at the edge of this. Yeah, a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and knock that down. This is a set of ceramic stones, actually, from Spyderco, that are very good at just kind of getting in there and knocking off burrs. This is not important. This doesn't matter particularly for the construction of the knife, but it is just a little detail here that, you know, sometimes you want to do when you're dealing with these kinds of budgety focused pieces. And just knock off that corner there. Still something going on up there. There we go. Got that. All right, and clean off the stop pin, and we are good to go. I'm going to put this guy back together with some knife pivot lube. This is the original oil. And although I could just as easily use some nano oil, which is fine. And actually, I'll put it together starting on this side. So there's a little bit of lubrication right there, as well as I'll put a little bit around the pivot here. There we go. That will make sure everything spins freely around that. Drop that on there. I'll go ahead and also drop in the stop pin right now while I'm thinking about it. Reason I'm doing it from this side is it's just easier to build up around the post, which makes some sense, right? All right, and drop another bearing on here. Rotate, rotate. Good to go. And then I'm going to drop the liner into place here. There we go. Everything's slipping into position. Not white. Yeah, it's going to need to pop down. So, okay, here's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to grab my thread locker. I'm going to use some blue Loctite on a stick here. And put a little bit onto the tip of the screw. Easy peasy. And okay, I'm just putting the screw in right now. I'm not fully tight. I'm just trying to put the screw in. May not be succeeding. That's a very shallow hole on the screw. But I'm just trying to get that screw in there, right? And what I'm doing right now is I'm feeling a little awkward about that. Was I cross-threaded? It's just taking a little more resistance than I'd like. Maybe it could be that there's some thread locker in there or something, but no, it seems to be going smoothly enough. It's just not the easiest thread fit. Okay, so this isn't fully tightened yet, but it doesn't need to be. The goal was just to get that in there and aligned. Go ahead and take the take these screws, put them in here. You go here. Tighten, tighten. You go here. Tighten, tighten. And, oh, their screws are not the most pleasant threading on them ever. Okay, we are still a little closer to the show side. I'm kind of wondering why that is, because it kind of looks like the tip is pretty well centered, but it's much closer over here. Could it just be that that's the nature of the G10? Like the G10 is a little more proud on this side than it is on that one? Okay, that's running a little tight, actually. That's running substantially tight. So I'm going to loosen that up a little bit. That's a little too loose. Okay, let's tighten it up a little bit. That is perfect. Okay, so where are we at on centering? Centering, we're not rubbing on this side, but we're still a little off center. I'm just going to go ahead and assume at this point that that is the way the knife is manufactured. It's not that the G10 can be more proud. It could be that the G10 is actually warped a little bit, because this side has no liners, right? So it could just be that the G10 has warped a little bit, making it seem closer on this side, even though looking at it carefully, it really looks like the blade itself is centered. So maybe that's just the nature of the G10. It's not touching. Oh yeah, you can see if I kind of pinch it a little bit, the G10 compresses some. But yeah, it's running well. It's actually running a lot better, which is nice. I mean, one might expect. I never actually did end up lubricating the detent ball hole. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is use the needle tip applicator and just put a little tiny bit of KPL, although nano oil could work too, onto the detent ball itself. That'll distribute itself. Oh yeah, that's even smoother. All right, there you go. That was easy enough. So that is the Bestech Titan. That is how to disassemble and maintain it. And keep an eye out for a review of it coming up here soon. Hope this has been interesting. Have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.